Hi everyone. My name is Shama, and first I want to thank you guys for allowing me to talk about this. I thought that the material I realized I had created it for this class because um, this was a hangout session that I did in 2022 for one of my communities. It was a community of writers too. So it's called Wealthy Writers Should Not Be Hard to Find. Why? Because I believe that wealthy writers need money. Um, yeah, so that's why I'm doing this. I just felt like the easiest way for me to have this, because the if I had shared the material to you, it will have started looking one kind. So I thought that okay, this is just the best way to do it. So you can listen to this inside. I will try my best to explain as clearly as I can. And if you find that I'm droning on and on, you can always skip. But one thing I need to know is that most of it is from my personal experience. So if you have any questions, or you still don't understand what to do after this, or maybe there are some things that you asked that I did not even touch, feel free to hit me up. You can even just send the VM itself so that if I can't chat, I will just listen to. So thank you. And so first, let me introduce myself. I'm Shaman Godos. I am a writer, product designer, and digital marketer, amongst many other things. I've had some experience in trading forex, trading in cryptocurrencies, and I briefly worked for a financial service company, Berger. Yeah, so that was where, I wrote their financial blog. And to write a financial blog, I had to read a finance textbook, and I had to talk to a lot of finance people. I attended their finance lectures. Yeah, so that's what even gave me a lot of base when and I said that saying that okay, you know what, you want to control my money. So that's why. So currently what I do now is that I teach children game of Scrabble. Yeah, so it's not as if I'm any financial guru. I'm just a guy that, had a 9 to 5, and I did my best to use the money in the 9 to 5 to, do stuff. Yeah, so yeah, that's Kini, and I'll explain why in a bit. So let's move on. So this is the flow, of course, overview about me, the writer, and we just talk. I think I should tell you guys about the brief history of money, but I may just skip over that and just send you guys maybe something to read about it. But I feel like understanding the history of money will change fundamentally how you see money, and you know that what you know you can control better, basically. So that's it. So yeah, this is some things we cover in the course. So of course we start with the writer because we're a team of writers. So a writer is the first portal through which the abstract becomes real. A writer is the first time machine. You know what that means now. Whatever you think or whatever was created, somebody had to write it down first. You understand? A building was first written about the cost. They wrote all the costing and everything before they even do it and stuff like that. So, yes, um, if a writer did not write something, it, it did not exist. So, as a writer, you create immense value. You are like really one of the most important people in the world. So, that's what being a writer is. So, yeah, moving on. And then, of course, a lot of people say that writers don't need money. You've heard of the tale of the starving artist. But we all know now that that's a lie. A writer does need money. See, why does a writer need money? So for people, I believe that writers need money the most. To be honest, I mean, we are the guys that literally bring dreams into reality. So we need the money. So what does a writer need money? To eat and live longer. Your brain consumes 70% of the energy that your body supplies, and writers are always thinking. We are using our brains a lot. So of course we need money to if you don't eat well, you are going to emaciate and die. And time is what is very important to you, right? That you need to finish everything that you're doing. You need to relax and enjoy because after using all of that brain power, after carrying this heavy machinery and doing things too, and you also have to relax and enjoy and just get some dopamine in your system so that you write better. The writer needs money to buy time. Yes. When you are writing, you cannot do anything else. Cooking, unlike writing, like me, I can be cooking now and I'm listening to a podcast or I am listening to an audiobook. But I cannot be writing and be listening to an audiobook. No, that would just be multitasking. I will write small, then listen to the audiobook. You cannot multitask when you're committing writing. So you need to bite, you need more time to write. And the best way to get more time is to buy more time. In my like when I was in my mother's house like this and there was a washing machine, I wrote more than when I now moved into my own place and there was no washing machine and I had to like kill like my entire Sunday to wash. You need money to upgrade your tools, goes without say. Once you start paying for AI, you are never ever going to go back. You get you need money to gain knowledge. Knowledge is wealth. Writers often exchange the money that they have for more knowledge. That's basically what we do. Like out of the money what I could get, I'll buy a new book, or I'll travel to a new place and learn something. Or I pay for a new course. I mean, that's why all of us are even here. Self tech, write and earn. Right? We are writing, we are earning together in this place because all of us brought out maybe like 5K or 10K to pay for the course. And then also you need money to interact with society. I mean, if you're going to go out to go and socialize, I mean, you are going to, buy fuel, put in the car, or you're going to pay boats and go there. You're going to buy food. You're going to have fun. You're going to pay for a ticket to see a movie. You get even when you're staying alone in your house, you still need money because you're going to either order child deck or Glovo. You get because definitely for because as you said because you need things. So yeah, these are the reasons why you need money. So have it at the back of your mind that this stuff that you need. Now let's talk about money. Money is a commodity that is accepted by general consent as a medium of economic exchange. The functions of money is that it's a medium of exchange. We use it to exchange money for goods and we exchange money for goods and services. It's a unit of value. It's also used to determine the worth of goods and services. That's how you know that something is 20K or something is 35K. Then a store of value. Now, if you just the easiest way to keep value is money. If I want to do something now and the value I have is in my brain, I have to first convert my brain. There are a lot of processes for me to bring that value out of my brain. I have to write it out, maybe I have to draw it, or I have to probably make this podcast and this video. But if I just give somebody money, it's already value. You get that kind of thing. Yeah, yeah. So that's a weird example, but that works. So that's what money is. So why plan your money? Because first, money is scarce. Like there's far less money available than people need money. When the economy says human wants are unlimited but resources are scarce. So that applies to money. Money is scarce, but what you need and want could possibly be unlimited. So you need to plan your money to be able to effectively, get these things. Now money loses value because of inflation. Our economic system is designed in a way that money loses value as the economy grows. You understand? The only benefit of inflation that I've seen is that it stops people from keeping money in the bank. Because if your money wasn't losing value, even now that the money is even losing value itself, we just toss our money. There's a lot of money locked up in the bank that is not shared amongst people. There are a lot of billionaires that just have money that they are just keeping. So your money loses value. That's why you should plan your money. You should plan how you are going to spend it so that you don't keep it and then you end up getting less for it. You should also plan money so that you can control it because you cannot, control what you do not track. And money wants to be spent. Like that is what money is for. It is for spending. You get yes, you can use it to measure things, but whenever you take money, the physical act, the physical thing that you use money for is to spend it. So yeah, you have to you have to plan it so that you can also track it. Because when you plan something know whether the thing is working or not, you track it, right? For those of us that do marketing, we see that. And then you also want to plan your money so that it helps you gain some self-understanding. Like I wrote here, looking at one financial statement can change your life. It's an honest diary entry. Like I can lie in my diary. I can write something that did not happen so that maybe I can feel good about myself. Maybe something bad happened and I go and explain to myself why that thing is not bad as a form of therapy. But bank alerts know the lie. If you go somewhere and you spend a lot of money and you come back and you look at that bank alert, the way you felt at that time comes back to you, especially if let's say you don't have a lot of money. So these are just like a few reasons why we plan our money. So moving on. Now this is my favorite part. Now this is what to do with money. So this is an order that I help. This is an order that helps. Now there are only a few limited things, ways that you can use money. Everything you can do to money can be fit within these five options, within these five things. I think this is a very effective way to go about, doing things with money. Like when the income comes, you understand? So of course, one of the only ways, in fact, the only way you get money is by earning it. You understand? That's the only way you get money. Even if you find money, it still falls under earning because for you to find money, you had to have applied some effort. So even if somebody dashes you money, the person dashed you that money because the person felt at some point that that you had earned it, maybe because you were fine, or because you're just fantastic, or because you just happen to make the effort to be, or you just happen to have made some effort to be there when they were feeling happy enough to dash the money. Even if you find money for grand, you bend down, pick up now. So that bending is the earning. It's an effort. So that's what it means. And I think the advice here is don't stop increasing your capacity to earn. So that's where money is. How money comes into your life. You earn money. Now, the first thing I will advise anybody to do when they earn money, when money enters their hand, is the first thing you do is to save. You save a portion of it. Now, the oldest advice about saving money is to save 10%. You find that in many religious texts. And you find that even in the Babylonian records. I think there was this guy that found this Babylonian book manual that said people should save 10% of their money. And he was the guy that wrote The Richest Man in Babylon. You get. So the first thing you do when you earn money is to save. You take a part of it and you put it somewhere and forget about it. That is like the most basic thing you can do. I think why a lot of people suggest 10% because is 10% is small enough for you to forget about it. Like it doesn't really change the general size of the money in your mind. I mean, what's 10% of 100K, 90K? You can let go of 10%. When it's now 80K, that's when you're now like, oh my God, 20K don't come off from my hand. You get that kind of thing. But 10% is big enough to matter over a long time. You understand? If you continue to save 10% for like 3 years, trust me, you will not be where you were when you started. But the first thing you do is save. Why you should also save first is because when you start spending money, it becomes increasingly difficult to save. When you start spending money, you now realize like the full size of the money. Like you now realize what this money can actually do when you just go to the market. You get there's something that happens in your brain and you realize that oh my god, I might need this money for this and this. And then it now becomes difficult to save. You may not want to save the money. I find myself needing, like when I don't save first, I find myself not being able to save because I want to solve all of my problems and then whatever remains, I'll save it. By the time I finish solving all of my problems, what will remain? The salary don't finish. If you're a 9 to 5 and you know this very well, how much salary can just finish easily. Like saving first puts everything in scope. And then now after you have saved the money, the remaining 90%, the remaining, let's say, okay, we top started with 100K now. The remaining 90K that you have, you budget. Make your spending more effective by budgeting. Like you can never earn too much to budget. Believe me, even if you're earning $1 billion, you must budget. Dangote budgets. Our country budgets, even though it's kind of weird how we do our budgeting. The United States, one of the richest countries in the world, budgets. They have a budget. When they see a surplus in the year, they are so happy. So budgeting, in fact, your financial health doesn't even depend on how much you save actually. It depends on how much you budget. Because if you don't budget, you can actually spend all of your savings. So yes, budget. It is really important. After you have budgeted, then your money can now start moving out. One thing I advise people to do first is that invest. So that means that while you are budgeting, you are thinking of how much you set aside money inside your budget for investing. And after your budget is solid, the first thing you do before you now start spending the money, before you now start like going into like the serious spending of life, is to invest. Why? Because when you invest, your money works for you. Trust me, money wants to be spent. Money wants to move around. And when money moves around, and in what investment is simply putting your money to move around and to come back with more. You understand? So give when you invest, you give your money a chance to work for you so that you don't have to work for the rest of your life. You get. So you should seek out financial products actively as a lifestyle and all of that. So when you do, after you have budgeted, of course, you set aside the money to invest. Invest that money immediately so that when you now get to this spending place, you do not spend the money you get. So yeah. And of course, now when you are spending, spend wisely. Spend according to what you have budgeted. Primary needs should be met before secondary wants. In subsequent, I think in subsequent slide I'll explain that, and maybe in subsequent discussions we can, talk about that. So yeah, these are the five things that you do with money. So this is the pathway. This should be your pathway for how money moves in your life. Earn, save, budget, invest, spend. You earn, money comes in. You save because you are keeping money aside for something, just so that you always have money. That's what saving is for. Budget so that you plan your money, you spend your money well. Save before you budget. Save your 10% before you budget. Even out of this budgeting, you can still even put a budget for savings. But I say you should save before you budget so that you don't end up not saving. Invest so that the money that has come to you can grow. Spend so that the money does actually what it's supposed to do for you. So those are like the five things. Now, when payday comes or when gig pays, sorry, I wrote this for you. So don't forget to split your money. So I think this is where our conversation started, where we're talking about splitting money. So now, a lot of people use the seven. I recommend the 70-30 rule where you spend 70% on your primary needs and wants, and then 30% on savings. So that is the basic rule. Spend 70, spend 30. I say young people like us because right now we don't have a lot of bills. If you have a lot of bills, then maybe you can make it 80-20. You get. Don't do 90-10. Try your best not to do 90-10, please. Because with 90-10, all you'll be able to do is to save. You'll not be able to invest, and you'll not be able to keep emergency funds. I'll explain all of this in a way. But 70-30 rule is the best. 60-40 is a stretch. I have tried 60-40 before, and I ended up, just having money and not buying things for myself and not taking advantages of some opportunities I could be taking advantage of. So I say 70-30 because this is like very, very chill. So inside the 70-30 self, as you can see, 50 plus 20 here is 70. So 50% of your income, at least 50% of your income should go to your primary needs. What are your primary needs? Listen to me now. Rent, okay, food, clothing, accommodation, internet, transport. These are the five. So those are I think these are the five core primary needs, at least for me anyway. Um, if you are not paying rent, then there's house bills and house maintenance. Make sure that these needs are filled to the brim. And why I say at least 50% is because you may even need to start buying in bulk. So your primary needs self might even now swallow up your wants. You understand? So moving on. Now 20% for wants. Now these needs are things that are unconditional. I think I didn't define your needs, sorry. Wants are things that are conditional. That's your life may be harder, but your life is not going to end. Like without internet, you cannot work. But if you don't have headphones, you can still attend work meetings. You understand? It's just that headphones make it easier to attend work meetings. If you don't have food, you might not be able to work at all. But if you don't have coke in your fridge, I mean, you are just missing. I mean, you can just eat yam and get the energy that you get. You can just eat food without your coke, you get. So, wants are those things that just beautify your life, that you want them because they make you happy. And it is important to do once because you need that extra shot of happiness, especially in these sad times. Trust me, it is good for your mental health. So it may not be 20%, it may just be 5%. Like for instance, I make an effort to buy something new for myself every month, even if it's just 5K. Then now we come to the 30%. So normally this 30% used to be classified as savings, but I have split this into different kinds of savings, into different kinds of ways you can keep money. So first, of course, your 10% savings, you can increase this. So your 10% savings that I told you before, very, very important. Even if you are investing, even if you are doing emergency funds, take 10% and do it. If you are religious and you tithe, then of course you can pay your tithe, then pay 10% to yourself. Because you cannot just be giving money outside and not pay yourself. That 10% is your own. It's money that only you know about. You understand? So yeah, 10% for yourself, and then 10%, then 10% investments, at least 10% investments, because this is where your money will grow, right? Investment means your money will grow. So even if you are not somewhere that's going to be investing money, just take 10% and put it somewhere. So in the end, you're not realizing that you are saving 20%. So before I used to make my investments my savings, but one time I now ran into a lot of problem, and I now had to now clear my entire investments. And then we now come to emergency funds, 10%. Now, emergency funds are also a kind of savings. What this emergency funds does is that it protects your savings and investments. Now, if I had emergency funds, I would not have touched my savings. I would not have touched my investments. I will go to my emergency funds first. Emergency funds are for emergencies now that happen, for things that just come, I have to spend quickly, like maybe a health problem, or maybe you just see something you've wanted to buy since and the thing is on sale. So that's the power of emergency funds. It protects savings and investments, and it also helps you take advantage of deals, and it also helps you solve your emergencies and all of that. So yeah, this for me, this is my holy grail. So let's move on. I think I've spent a lot of time here. What are the current? So now I think let's move into the juicy parts. This is the current fintechs that can help you access financial products. So now, um, I think our conversation started from most of these financial products and everything, and I would explain these financial products and what they do vis-a-vis how you can spend your money. So I think we've talked about earning, saving, budgeting, investing, and spending. So when you are earning your money, of course, a lot of us earn through gig pay. When you want to save, now usually you could save in naira, but now the naira is reducing in value. So the place I'll advise anybody to save is you can save with Risevest, or you can save with PiggyVest, or you can save with Cowrywise. These three products give you different fields and everything. So Cowrywise allows you to save your money and never touch it for a period of time. That value proposition is that you will save your money and you would never touch it. Like I had a friend who told me the story about how he saved Cowrywise as a student, and then he needed the money because he had excess money, so he saved the car revise. He locked it for like 3 months, and then of course now he needed money. He could not open the money, so he went to their office to beg them. He cried at their office, and people at car revise refused to give him the money. He said that he didn't have transport. Somebody come off 5K, give him, say make him go. When the money comes, he can pay them back. That is what Cowrywise does. So if you want to save money and not touch the money, Cowrywise. Cowrywise also has investment options. They have mutual funds too. You understand? But the main thing they are good at is really for you to save money. Now, if you also want to save, you can use PiggyVest. Remember, PiggyVest actually started out as a savings. What do they call them? PiggyVest actually started out as a savings platform. You understand? So they were first piggy bank before they became piggy vest. That's when they now started also investing money. Investment is always more attractive than saving. Saving is about keeping money. Investment is about growing money. So investment is more prospective. So if you are spending your investment, you're actually wasting the potential. Piggy vest allows you to remove the money. Now, if you run into problem, now if you're somebody who you get a lot of emergencies in your life, do piggy vest. If you're a salary earner that is sure of constant um salary no matter what happens, do piggy vest. You understand? Because anything you remove, you can put it back again. But with piggy vest, you need a lot of discipline. However, if you're a gig person that gets money once in a while, please put it in Cowrywise and lock it. You can also lock in PiggyVest, but with PiggyVest you can break it. But Cowrywise was at the time when I was using them, they will not let you break it. There was a time when my money was coming in short spasm, because the time when I was also a freelancer. I said there was a time as if it is not this time, you know. So yeah, I don't use Carrywise. What I do or did was that I used to set aside money for the month. So you can use Carrywise with that. So if I were somebody that used to earn that kind of, gets infrequent money, if I get like this huge block, maybe like I do a project now and I get 400K, and I know that, man, I'm going to spend like probably the next 2 months hustling for another one. I will take 100K and be put it in Carrywise and lock them for 1 month. So that when they release the money, it's only the 100K I have for that time and I survive on it and I'm able to budget on that. You get That's what I would do. Now you can also save with Rice. You understand? You can also save your money with Rise too. Rise is just like a product that encompasses a lot of things. We'll talk about that later on. Bamboo is strictly for investments. There are also other, what do they call it? I think there are also other apps, but of all of them, these are the ones that I know I can trust personally. PiggyVest has always been trustworthy. I mean, PiggyVest has grown. If you look at their valuation, if you look at the way they do their business, they even they bought a bag. For a company to buy another company, you know that they are really doing well. And the people that are doing PiggyVest, they are really credible. When I was working at Norimberga, um, good things were said about PiggyVest. You've heard what I said about Carrywise. Why I like Carrywise is because they know what they are doing. They have one of the best content marketing um, they have one of the best content marketing structures that I've ever seen. Like I hope to work for Cowrywise for like just 3 or 6 months, just to be in the space where that works and see that system. You understand? I really hope to learn from them. And then Risevest has been a fintech that has solved the people's problem. Risevest foresaw Risevest foresaw the fall of the naira against the dollar before a lot of people foresaw it. So they built their entire, what they call it, their entire business model on saving in dollars. And I can tell you without a fact, I think I've said this before, that Risevest is the reason why I am still even alive today. Because when the dollar started falling from 2020, it hit my finances hard because I was a digital marketer and I was paying for things in dollars. I was buying things in dollars. You understand? So the moment the COVID inflation and the economic depression hits, and with the whole US thing and the dollar, even when the dollar started falling, when the dollar started rising, when they started printing money, when the war in Ukraine started, all of these things affected my life deeply as a Nigerian. But because the things I was keeping in Risevest were keeping up with the dollar, I had money to spend. So imagine how Risevest saving my life in 2020. Then imagine how what Risevest did for me last year. So now I'm just going to talk about Risevest, what you can use Risevest to do, and then I will talk about BambooVest because I think somebody came and asked me what was the difference between Risevest and Bamboo. So Rise gives you like access to carefully selected portfolio of global investments across US stocks, US real estate, and fixed income assets. So Risevest allows you to save to keep your money in dollars, and they invest in US stocks, US real estate, and US fixed income assets. Why US? Because US is one of the most lucrative markets to invest. US is a capitalist paradise. So when it comes to economics, US if you notice, US stocks are always outperforming mostly other stocks. The US fixed income has been outperforming the plus fixed income, even when it looked like it was going to fall, even when the US stock market was in the red last 2022. Last year we had 22%. Some stock indexes got 22% and all of that. So over time they are very, very astute. I have seen looking at their percentages from time to time, and I'm looking at the way they communicate and they conduct our business. You know that these guys, they have really, really good fund managers. And then one other thing is that everything you send to Risevest is immediately converted to dollars. And in fact, in Risevest, now that Risevest has a Nigerian wallet. Risevest never had a Nigerian wallet. It was always a dollar wallet. The beautiful thing about Risevest is that you can send to bank accounts. So I'll tell you a story. There was a time I stopped drinking Coke, and each time I wanted to drink time Coke was 250. So each time I wanted to drink Coke, I'll say, let me send the money to my Risevest instead. You get. So that's what I was doing. So I was just anytime I had to drink Coke and this thing, I would just buy my rice. Then I'll now sit down and send 250 to Risevest. After a while, I realized that I had $6 in Risevest. I think at that time the dollar was like 500 and something. After a while, I think like 2 or 3 months of that, I realized I had, until I stopped doing that, I had $6 in Risevest. Now, do you know how much that $6 would be now if I knew I had invested it? That's, I think according to Risevest this thing now, that should be like an easy $6 is like an easy 10K. If you calculate all the coke that you drink, I think for all of us that drink coke whenever we eat, how about if you spend 3K for coke on top like in 1 or 2 months? So now imagine that. So that's what it does. So and it hedges against inflation. So as the naira was falling, all the things I was selling to Rise Vest was just in dollars. So of course I started buying the dollars when it was like 470. And at that time, right, I used to do this thing that before when the naira drops, as in when the dollar increases, the dollar margin increases, they will tell us that they are about to increase it and ask us to put money before they increase it. So I think that time, I think when the dollar went from 495 to was it 525 or something, I remember Rice were sending me a message that morning that rates are going up by 11. And I think that was one of the day. I think I just got paid. So I just moved 150K inside. The thing now increased. And I think I had like extra 3 or 4K. And then I just removed 3 or 4K. So it was like arbitrage, you get. And then with Risevest, I started doing this thing where if you leave money in your wallet, it grows by 8%. If you invest it, it grows by 10% a year. You get. And these returns are given to you monthly. So like if you drop 100K, this February, by next year's February, just in the wallet is 108. It's become 108. But over the course of 12 months, it becomes 108K. But over the course of 12 months, like maybe if you drop it in February, by March, they'll give you like 600 naira. April, maybe another 600 naira. By the time you calculate that 600 times 12, or it becomes like 72 or 800, or just 600 and something. By the time you calculate all of that, it now becomes your 108. So you gain yearly, but your returns are given to you monthly, so that maybe you fit cut maybe those returns you fit cut am sef come dey use am. My plan for Risevest was to earn enough money and put it in so that I can and put it there so that I can be getting like a monthly salary from the investments that I had. That would be like my ultimate plan. But then that is for whenever we're having a lot more complex finance. One doesn't want to get into your dreams and goals for money. So now withdrawals for Risevest take a day to get to your Nigerian bank account. So if you withdraw today, they'll take a day to process it. Now it has become a day or two because the amount of processes that they have been doing has increased. These are the things I have to say about Risevest. Now let's move on to Bamboo. Now, Bamboo helps you access more specific investment options by buying company stocks for you. So, to operate Bamboo investments, you need to understand how stocks work. You need to also understand how the financial systems work because you'll be choosing specific stocks to buy for yourself. But Bamboo already also has like an index that they invest. So Bamboo also have like an index that they invest and I can be like, okay, this one, they have a package of stocks that they can just give you and you can just buy and invest. So they can do that for you. But if you want to really gain the best from Bamboo, you can invest, you may have to study stocks and instead of getting like maybe 200 and something instead of getting maybe like 30 something, maybe 10% or 15% that bamboo index will give you, you can actually multiply your money and get up to 30 something percent on stocks. Yes, with stocks it's possible, but stocks are just like really, really risky. You understand? So you need to know that stocks are risky. So I think I would explain fixed income really. Oh my god, there's so much to say. I'm so sorry. But I think that maybe if you guys want to know more, I may have to make this a session. Because right now, I just actually created this lesson based on what we discussed. I have not created a curriculum yet, but I would. But if you guys are interested, I will create a curriculum. If somebody may need to help me do another writer, so I can pay you for that. So that I can pay you just a small stipend for that. So that we can actually get this knowledge out there for all of us, just for you guys. If you guys want to do something, if you guys want and everything, you can share it with your friends and stuff. So yeah, so yeah, bamboo also lets you control your money more than Risevest does. Like on bamboo, you have to pick your investment. Sorry, I spelled this wrong. So yeah, you have to pick them. You can pick the bamboo index, like I said, but on bamboo you can pick specific stocks. So if you know a lot about US stocks, the ones, and you know a lot about what's happening in the US economy, bamboo is actually much better for you than rising, because with rice vests you cannot invest in the stocks by yourself. You invest in the rice vest index, which is managed by them. They pick a select group of stocks in rice vests that are always performing, and they invest in it for you. Rice vest has real estate businesses that they are affiliated with for their real estate plans, and then they invest in US fixed income, which is almost always a guaranteed fee. But with bamboo, you are bringing some of your skill to the fore, and because of that, bamboo has like not a knowledge base, like investment articles inside their app that you can read and learn. Bamboo also has a desktop version, because if you are going to be trading, why not trade on a desktop? With Risevest, you are basically just only controlling your money. You're only just looking at balances and making investments. So Riser doesn't have a desktop version. And trust me, we don't need the desktop version. You don't need the desktop version, because it's just going to be not used. You are not doing Riser is not a place where you are actively buying and unbuying stocks. So you don't need desktop. But on Bamboo, you are buying and unbuying, because let's say a stock that you think that will grow, now suddenly starts to fall. You have to remove your money before it falls down to zero. You get, so you see all of that. And then bamboo is a lot more about investment than it's about saving. So if you notice at the last slide, I didn't tell you anything about, I didn't list bamboo amongst your savings. Bamboo is strictly for investment. Strictly for investment. Bamboo also keeps your money in dollars, but bamboo is a lot like gig pay, but just for investment. And one thing I think, and I have not, and unlike Risevest, bamboo doesn't have a Nigerian bank account that you can just transfer naira to. You have to use your Naira card to buy the dollars that you use on Bamboo. So it's not as flexible as Risevest. It's a lot more technical. You get, so those are the differences between them. So yeah, now back to you and your financial goals. So here are some things I need you to consider. What are your goals with money? Why are you gathering this money? Are you just gathering this money to live life? I personally have goals on my money. Like I said, one of my goals in money is to have enough to invest, and then whatever I get as dividends is what runs my life, so that I have more time to write. And I created this and I made this goal about 3 years ago. Yeah. And everything I have done has been to achieve this goal. You understand? So I'm not there yet. I'm not even up to 3% there yet. But it doesn't mean I'm going to stop, because there was a time when I was 0%. But now that I'm 3%, I've seen how much being 3% there has saved my life. So why am I even not going to play? You get. So of course, start your creating goals and making plans for what you want your money to do for you. Next thing I'll tell you to do is understand your relationship with money. So yeah, this also helped me, because I didn't used to understand where my money used to go. So I started tracking like specific reactions to money. So how do I feel when I receive a credit alert? Of course, I feel everybody feels good. Everybody feels like, okay, at least I have life for another day. But what was more important about that feeling is, what do I do next? What are my changes in my behavior? How do I move? How do I now start talking to people? Before I now go and say something to somebody, and I now have to now spend. So I realized there was a time I had this habit of, whenever salary just comes, I will just first go to one restaurant and just go and eat something I've been craving since. So when I looked at my financial, and because I have gone to go and eat that thing, you know, a chain reaction happens where I may probably now start spending a lot more. Sometimes when salary comes, I will just enter supermarket, and because I will now buy some things unnecessary. Like maybe I say, oh, I want to buy this food, I want to eat this. I'll now eat something else, probably spend like twice, thrice more than what I would have spent if it was not salary, if it was not salary money I carry into the supermarket. Sure you get. So I have to track all of this and understand how I'll now be behaving when the money comes. You get. And what's the history of money? Look at your financial transactions. But I had to ask myself and understand, how have I behaved with money? And not just that, when I say history with money, I mean what was like your relationship with money when you were a child? So when you get all of this, write this down, find your strengths and weaknesses and use them to your advantage. So I have a few tips and tricks for managing money here.
Yeah. Okay. So, these are just like a few tips that I just write. I just live by them. So I'm going to run through them quick. So yeah, save as soon as you get a credit alert. Automate your payments if possible. You can do this on Risevest. You can just link your card and um, they will be able to just automate your payments as you'll just be able to pay whenever there's money in the account. The amount that you said they should remove, to remove it monthly. It's I can show you how to do that. Buy for value rather than buy for price. Sapa is temporary, but drip is forever. So what I mean is that buy quality as early as possible, because when you buy quality things, you end up saving in the long run. I have so many instances of that, you know, especially the fact that the naira has been lowering. So stuff that I would have bought 70K maybe like last year, they are now like 135. So you get, just try and buy. If you can, if you can't, it's okay. But as soon as you can buy quality, please buy quality because quality will last you and save you in the long run. Continue to upgrade yourself and your tools and extra costs and investments. Yeah, so that you earn more money. And now the more you increase yourself, the more knowledge you get, the more you open your chances for earning, and the more will come to you to give you jobs, and the more valuable you are. Eat well, rest, and exercise. It saves money. Yeah, you don't want to now go and spend like up to 200K healthcare, 200K in the hospital. Healthcare is really expensive, so you don't want to do that. So please, like, take care of yourself so that you save money in the long run, and actively seek investment opportunities and other ways to grow your money. Risevest is just a start. There are so many other products that you can explore. There's bamboo. Some of you can even get into long-term forex trading. You get when you get the amount of money that you have, you know. Some people might actually need you to invest in their business. If you have that kind of money, you can invest in their business. Some of you will become venture capitalists in the future. So, yeah, it starts from now, just looking for those ways and just being very conscious about it. Mm, Get as much information as you can about money, talk to people, read newsletters, read the textbook, talk to me, talk to other guys. But always be conscious. If somebody tells you something, make sure that you also seek information that backs up what they are saying. You get, so yeah, like the things I'm saying now. If you need sources, if you need maybe like resources, I should be able to find them. I should be able to point you to people who are like much better than I am self at this thing. So, I know a bunch of financial analysts that you can talk to. In my old workplace. I don't know if they owe me favor like that, but we can try. So yeah. Also, don't be greedy when you are getting into savings and investment and doing money. Don't be greedy to yourself. Don't be greedy to yourself by over saving. You get, and don't be greedy when you're investing, so that for those of us that will invest anyway, so that somebody will not come and swindle us. Open your eye, check out the company or the stock that you're investing in. That's for those that want to use bamboo. Check out the stock that you're investing in, read about the company, look at historic performances. If you're stepping into cryptocurrency, the project there must already, look like something that is going to work. We must solve a real problem, because I've seen too many rubbish projects on the blockchain. Oh my God, that's like a gist for another time. So again, of course, avoid unnecessary upgrades to your standard of living as much as possible. It kind of erodes income. So if you can live like a hundred for like on 100K a month, and let's say you earn like maybe 200, when you start earning 300, maybe like for the first 3 or 6 months, don't upgrade your standard of living yet. Kind of like save some, get a base, and then do it slowly so that you don't just erode your income and inflates your lifestyle. It really, really helps you stay financially disciplined amongst other things. Yeah. So yeah, these are my tips from managing money. So yeah, I know. Sorry for the audio change in the middle. Um, I just figured that I had to like re-record things, so that because I was just talking too much, so I had to like re-record stuff and everything. So this is the re-record. So yeah, you can eat from your investments. Um, from like I told you before, my personal goal is to be able to invest, and then the investment produces enough money for me to go back to earning, saving, and budgeting at least. So that's what I hope to achieve. I looked at, how generational wealth is built because I looked at how generational wealth was built and I realized that most of these people, they have investments, they have shares, they have their money locked up in like stocks and stuff. So, um, that money generates enough money for them to live and they don't have to work for money. The money is working for them. It's not a get rich quick scheme. You have to be consistent. Thank you so much for staying here. And I hope that right after this, that you have some insights on, even if it's not to multiply your money, at least you have insights on, how you can grow your money or at least help it not to lose its value too quickly. So yeah, thank you. I am Shama Gudus, and you guys can ask me your questions now.